The family is still in the middle of the hardest days, and the world is waiting quietly, respectfully, for the moment they are ready to say goodbye. Darrell Sheets, known to millions as the gambler on A&E Storage Wars, died on April 22, 2026 at his home in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. He was 67. As of now, information regarding funeral arrangements for the beloved TV personality has not yet been officially announced. But what we do know about the family gathering around him, about the people who will be in that room, about the man they are preparing to lay to rest, is already telling a story more powerful than any funeral announcement ever could. In this video, we're covering everything: the family, the guest list of people expected to attend, what we know about where he may be laid to rest, and the legacy of a man whose greatest find was never inside a storage unit. Let's start with the family, because before Darrell Sheets was the gambler, before the catchphrases, before the Picasso drawings, before the $300,000 Gutierrez painting that became the biggest profit in the show's history, he was a father and a grandfather, and that is the role the people closest to him say he took more seriously than any other. He is survived by his son Brandi Sheets, who appeared alongside him on Storage Wars under the nickname The Sidebit, and his daughter Tiffany Sheets. Brandi and Darrell, father and son, side by side on television for over a decade. Two men with matching instincts, matching humor, and a bond built not in a Hollywood green room, but in the back of auction warehouses, in the dusty corridors of storage facilities, in the front seats of trucks driving toward the next big gamble. Brandi married his wife Melissa in 2015, and the couple share two children, Adeline and Layden. Darrell Sheets had grandchildren, two from Brandi, and then there is Zoie. Of all the people in Darrell's life, it was his granddaughter Zoie, Tiffany's daughter, who occupied a special place in his heart. In the absence of her mother, Darrell largely stepped into a parental role for Zoie, and she was a constant presence on his social media throughout the years. He raised her, practically, quietly, without making it a storyline on television. He just showed up the way good fathers and grandfathers do and made sure she had someone in her corner. Brandi Passante's tribute specifically named those left behind. My heart hurts for Brandi, Zoie, and Kimber. 3 names. 3 people who woke up on April 22 with Darrell Sheets in their lives and went asleep that night without him. And then there is Kimber, the woman who has no clean title in any official record, but whose place in his life is impossible to misread. Despite their 2016 divorce, Darrell Sheets frequently posted photos with Kimber on social media, referring to her as his lover and expressing his love for her, indicating their relationship lasted into recent years. As recently as December 2023, he wrote publicly, "Please join me in wishing Kimber a very happy birthday, babe. Love you more than you know." Love you more than you know. Those were his words to her, less than 2.5 years before he died. In a 2021 Mother's Day tribute, Darrell called her one of the hardest working women I know, and said he was so grateful to have her in his life. Kimber Wuerfel will be in that room when the family gathers, not as an ex-wife, not as a footnote in a relationship timeline, but as the woman Darrell Sheets called his girl right up until the very end. But wait, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched someone on television for 15 years, followed their wins, laughed at their one-liners, cheered when they pulled something incredible out of a locker, and only discovered who they really were when they were gone? Because that's what is happening right now across the Storage Wars community. Fans who knew the gambler are now meeting Darrell, the grandfather who stepped in for Zoie, the father who brought Brandi onto national television just to have more time with his son, the man who called his ex-wife babe, in a birthday post because the love between them never had a clean ending. That's who is being buried, not a television character, a man. Now the guest list. Because when the family does hold a service, the people expected to gather go far beyond bloodlines. René Nezhoda, Daryl's on-screen rival who became a genuine friend, spoke immediately after his death. "So deep down, me and Daryl were friends. We talked every now and then. He was a very hard worker that cared more than anyone I've ever met about their family, about his son, about Zoie, pretty much all the people in his life." René will be there, because 15 years of standing across from someone at auction, competing, clashing, joking, build something whether you plan it to or not. Hester will be there, the man who spent over 100 episodes trying to outbid Darrell Sheets, who posted a tribute video from his car the day after the news broke, who said quietly, without performance, "Some of my best battles are with him, but those will just be good memories." Brandi Passante will be there, the woman who lost her own parent and brother to similar circumstances, and who used Daryl's death to beg the world to reach out before it's too late. And the Storage Wars production family. A&E released a statement saying, "We are saddened by the passing of a beloved member of our Storage Wars family, Daryl the Gambler Sheets. Our thoughts are with his family and loved ones during this difficult time." The network that put him on television for 15 seasons, the crew that filmed him opening lockers, revealing treasures, delivering catchphrases, they are grieving too. Because when you spend that long making something together, it stops being just a job. As for place of burial, the family has not announced any location. What we do know is that Daryl Sheets spent his final chapter in Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Born on May 13, 1958 in Covina, California, he was a California man by birth, an Arizona man by choice. A man who moved to the desert, opened a shop, and tried to build something quieter than what television had given him. Whether he rests in Arizona or is brought home to California where his story began, the family will decide. And whatever they choose will be the right choice, because it will be theirs. René Nezhoda captured the man Daryl Sheets actually was in one sentence. He was a very hard worker that cared more than anyone I've ever met about their family. More than anyone, from a man who competed against him, who stood across from him at hundreds of auctions, who watched him work and hustle and bid and gamble and came away saying, the thing that defined him most was not the fines, it was the family. He once described himself simply, "I'm a buyer by trade. I love buying storage sheds. It's my addiction." The addiction was real, but the love for Brandon, for Tiffany, for Zoie, for Kimber, for the people he filled his social media with year after year, that was realer. The gambler placed his last bet, and the people who loved him are now doing the hardest thing any family ever has to do, deciding how to say goodbye to someone who left too soon, too suddenly, without warning. When they are ready, the world will be waiting, with respect, with gratitude, and with the memory of a man who made 15 years of television feel like a front row seat to someone's real life. If you are struggling, please dial or text 988. You are not alone. Rest in peace, Daryl Sheets, the gambler. May 13, 1958, April 22, 2026. Thank you for watching.